Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to take a look at a really cool, this is really cool. This is a brand new Eachine E021 flying motorcycle. It's a motorcycle that can fly and it can also go on the ground. Now, there's not much that comes with this, so I'm not going to give it a full-fledged table review. I'll just go over it real briefly here at my kitchen table. And then I'm going to take it out into my garage probably and fly it and drive it around there, so I get a little bit more room, because you do need a slick surface. You know, your kitchen floor is ideal, but I don't have that big of a kitchen, so there's not a whole lot of room to really show you guys. But I'll try to show you how it works outside. But you do need a rather slick surface to be able to do the ground portion. Of course, the flying, works anywhere, and it flies really well. I'm super impressed with this thing. I did not expect much, because it looks gimmicky and it's not very expensive, but wow, it's really cool. I'm shocked. It says 2-in-1 here, so that's obviously the flight and the ground modes as it shows here on the side of the box. So here is the motorcycle. It's made of the styrofoam, so it can withstand impacts. Of course, here's your 4 motors with your propellers, so it's actually a quadcopter. And then here's the supports that allows it to be on the ground, so it'll scoot across. Hopefully I can aim my camera down enough here on the table, but it'll scoot around. It keeps it balanced so that it doesn't fall over on the ground. The one I got comes with 3 of these 300 milliamp 1S lipos, 25C, and it uses little 2-pin connectors. I forget what those are called, but I got 7 minutes flight time though. It has a very long LVC. I got it 4 minutes and 15 seconds or so is when the LVC went off, so roughly 3 minutes LVC. And during the LVC, it disables the ability to do flips, because it actually will flip when you're flying in the air. It only flips forward and back, I believe, and it won't do flip sideways, which is kind of odd. Usually the longer drones don't like to flip forward and back, I believe, but this one, it just flips forward and backwards, and it does 3D flips really well. So I got 3 of these lipos here. One of them is already inside of the motorcycle. They comes a little USB charger for it, and that takes, it says an hour, but it probably will take you less than an hour. But your 300 milliamps is actually a decent size for a little lipo battery like this. It has a red light that comes on, and the red light goes out whenever it is fully charged. You also get a little Phillips screwdriver and extra propellers, which you may need those because these are exposed. So, they could whack into something and break off, but they'll probably, get bent relatively easily, but who knows how easy they'll break. But it's nice that they do include extra ones. This little screwdriver is awfully small, so when I tried to remove the back screw, I had a hard time. I had to switch a different screwdriver just to do that, because you just can't get much torque with this little screwdriver, so you may have to try a different one. Here is the controller. It takes 3 AA's. Comes with a nice little insert on top, so everything's nicely labeled. You got your fine tuning, which would be your pitch and roll trims. This is your flip button on top. You've got over here on the side a high and a low rate. I couldn't tell a difference there. It beeps when you go high, and it beeps again when you go low. It seemed the same. It might be a slight difference, a little sportier and high rate, I suppose, but it flies and moves around, so I couldn't tell the difference. So it's rather small. Here's a light control. I believe that's to turn off the LED. There's just a blue LED here in the nose. I don't know why you'd want to turn that off, because it's not going to use much battery. And then the ground mode and flight mode. So this lets you to switch to the ground mode, so you can drive it like a motorcycle, and then you press this and it will fly like a quadcopter. You can do it while you're going, so you can be given a throttle on the ground and then hit the flight mode, and it'll just take off from the ground and continue flying. So that's really cool. So yeah, really cool little motorcycle quadcopter. I really am impressed with it. I didn't expect I would be. The battery goes down here in the bottom and just plugs in, and then it has an on and off switch here on the side. So really a cool little motorcycle, and it's not very expensive. It's relative. I think it was under $20 if you just buy the single battery. I'd spend a few extra bucks and get the 3, because you're going to have so much fun driving this around. You're going to want to switch modes, and then you're all of a sudden going to be out of battery and got to wait 45 minutes or so to charge it back up. All right, guys, so that does a quick here overview of this little E021 Eachine motorcycle. We'll take it on outside in a garage and fly it around and drive it around on the floor. So I'll be right back with that. All right, guys, so let's take the little Eachine E021 quadcopter motorcycle ground air mode guy out, and then I'll show you how awesome this thing is. Because I really do like it. I don't usually get so excited over something, but it's just different. It's new. It's just an innovation that we want to see, because it's becoming kind of static in the hobby now with not a lot of new innovation, and this is, and I really do like this. Now there's a lot of water and it's kind of dirty on my floor here, so if it doesn't do quite as well as inside, that's the reason why. I'm also going to try my best to keep this in my head cam, but you know, it's kind of hard to tell. I've got it tilted down a little bit more, but I'll try my best because we are kind of limited on space here. As you can see outside, it's raining. We have rain and snow, so I can't do this outside today, and my driveway is not as slick as the inside my garage, so I don't know how well it would do on the rougher surface of the street or my driveway. So we will try the garage, which is still pretty slick surface. So let's go ahead and we'll power it on. I've already got a battery inserted, and then you can see the one blue light here in the front. That's the only light that I notice. I'm going to set it down here on the garage floor, turn on the controller, and do your binding sequence. Oh, and there it goes. And what I would suggest doing, especially if you would crash it or something, but no, do your gyro calibration, which is both sticks down and to the right. It'll beep. That front light was flashing, but you can't see that. Let's go ahead and we'll take it up and fly it around, then I'll put it on the ground. I trimmed it up already whenever I did my test flight of it. It flies. I mean, look how that thing flies great. I was surprised at how few times I crashed it. I kept thinking I was going to crash it a lot because it spins around relatively quickly. Now if I go to the higher rate and then lower rate, let's see if we can tell a difference. Higher rate, yeah, I can. There's a bit of a difference in the yaw, but it's very small. So it was hard to see indoors where I had less room. No, it's not going to always be in your field of view, guys. I'm trying to keep it out in front of me. Let's do some 360 flips. That's the upper right, and you can go forward. That did a really nice flip. Let's try that again. Let's try it back. Now if I try to do left or right, see, it doesn't do it. It won't do flips left or right. There, ooh, it almost hit the ceiling. This is really fantastic. All right, let's land it now. I'm going to try to, over here is some of the best spot, the least amount of dirt and water, because it was, my car was parked there. Let's press the ground mode. Now we're ready to do the ground. You just give it throttle, and look at that. Now it's not going to be, yeah, it's not doing quite as well as indoors because it's, you know, the surface is just dirty. So keep that in mind. Even if I swept it, it's not as slick as my kitchen floor. But it's still doing pretty good. This is, I can't believe how much fun this is, because it's like driving a drift car. And like I said, if you do it in a really slick, clean surface, it's even quicker than that. I mean, for under 20 bucks, this is an awesome toy, especially if you wanted to buy this for someone as a gift. Let me see if I can, whoa, I want to bring it over here and try, oh yeah, try to see if I can take off now. So let's get give it some throttle, and then take off. Whoa, I pressed the wrong button. I pressed the ground button again, duh. Let's make sure I don't get any water on my lens. Okay, let's try that again. Let's try it this way. Let's try it from where it's a little bit cleaner here. Let's drive it out and try hitting the flight mode. So take off, forward, press the flight, and there it goes. And then you can just, you can fly it down, and then you can press the ground mode. There we go. Let's try. Oops. Didn't seem like I got it. There we go. There's, and hit flight. Oh, that is so cool. Yeah, this is neat. There's no altitude hold on this thing. I didn't mention that. It's fully, you know, full throttle management on your end. No gimmicks, no camera. They can see we got a blinking blue light. That's a low voltage. That means we're about 4 minutes in, I believe. But I got, you know, quite a bit more flight time. Now, I can't do flips now, see? It won't let me flip. It thinks the battery's getting too low. But it'll keep flying for several minutes. It depends on how aggressive you fly it. Now, another thing I don't really know is how long does it drive longer or fly longer? I would think it might get more drive time on the ground than flying, but it may not be much of a difference because, you know, I didn't look closely on the ground. Let's see on the ground how do the motors work. Let's see, let's go to the ground mode. And the motors are still all spinning up. But I'm not actually sure what it does to make it go on the ground. I don't know if the motors spin at a lower speed because they don't tilt. You know what I mean? The motors don't tilt back like on some of the land-to-air ones, where the motors will tilt back to give it throttle. So I'm actually not sure what it does there. But I'm thinking on the ground you'll probably get a longer play time or drive time than if you were flying it. But I mean, it's just super nimble. I mean, look at that. I got my hands, one hand on the yaw. Look at that. With no breeze in the garage. Just look how stable that is. It just whips around and you have really precise controls. And I like both modes. I mean, it's not like I love flying it and the ground's boring or vice versa. No, going to the ground is just about as much fun. I mean, it's obviously this surface here is not as ideal because it's not as smooth and it's a bit dirty, but it's still fun. And you take it inside, it's really slick on like a linoleum or a hardwood floor. And then just take off and there you go. This is awesome. Really is. I mean, for a full-grown 48-year-old man like me, I still find this to be quite fun, and I know that if you bought this for a gift for a kid, even a teenager is going to love this. All right, guys, that wraps up the review of the Eachine E021 flying motorcycle and ground motorcycle, because it does both modes. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have any kind of questions about it, be sure to ask. We'll put a link to this in the description. If I have any coupons, I'll include it. Again, it's like under 20 bucks. So if you want to support the channel, please do consider clicking that link if you want to buy one of these, because that's how you can support my channel without spending a cent. Because I don't want to do a Patreon or PayPal or bug people to send money. You know, it's enough fun doing this, but if you want to support me, that's how you can do it. So be sure to keep that in mind. Be sure to click the bell and subscribe. When you do subscribe, click the bell so you know when I do upload new videos. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.
The power of the dark side.